Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So as we started reading
Recording in progress.
We started reading this book titled as Speaking About Varnashram, Srila Prabhupada on Varnashram and Farm Community Development, which was originally printed by BBT or ISKCON Book Trust, but later they discontinued, and then a few devotees from ISKCON Daiva Varnashram ministry, they kind of acquired the rights for this, and they have been printing this from last couple of years. Last week we read the introduction, and we are supposed to start chapter 1 today. Yeah. This chapter 1 of the Speaking About Varnashram is titled as Mutual Respect in Varnashram, and this is a room conversation from July 16, 1968 in Montreal, Canada. Let me get my glasses. Now, chapter 1, Mutual Respect in Varnashram, Testing Success of One's Occupation, Government Grants, Land to Citizens, Taxes Linked to Production, Caste System, Natural versus Corrupt Caste System. In Varnashram, everyone's position is treated with honor. These are some of the topics that are discussed in this chapter, in this conversation that Srila Prabhupada is having. So we'll start with Prabhupada says, you can sit down, so everyone is working. Never mind in whatever occupation one is engaged, that doesn't matter. But one has to test whether he is becoming successful. Because everyone wants success. We are not animals that without any success we shall work hard labor. That is animals' business. Just like several times I have given the example, do fara gadha, which means the ass of the washerman. That kind of business and work is no use. Dhopara gadha, ass of the washerman. Here, of course, you have no experience. In India, there is a class who are called washermen. And then Prabhupada switches. In India, there are different castes. Washerman, a class. Barber, a class. I mean to say, so many departmentals. So each and every one, there is a class who take up that work. Sweeper, a class. All the necessities, the clerk, even the clerk, that is a class. Priest, there is a class. The fighter, there is a class. That is nice arrangement. In India, and florists, there is a class. Florist. Their business is simply to supply flowers. Fishermen, there is a class. Butcher, there is a class. So just like we have got a temple, now we require a potter. Potter, there is a class. In Jagannath temple, the arrangement is that The prasadam is cooked every day in new earthen pot. No old pot is used. Once used, it is thrown away. So formerly this was the system in India. Even dishes, once used, it is thrown away. No washing. Even golden dishes, silver dishes, once used, it is thrown away. And now golden dishes, there is no use of golden dishes. Neither nobody throws it away. What Prabhupada meant by this was we cannot afford to have golden dishes. Right? Yeah, I will. Maybe from next one we'll use the mic. I have a new mic. But that was the system. Now the earthen dishes, just like china, clay dishes, that is considered impure because it is repeatedly used. In India, those who are strict Hindus, earthen dishes, once used, it will be thrown away. Clay dishes. So this is china clay dish. It is not to be used again. It is thrown away. Just like you have got paper plates and glass here, Prabhupada is indicating in West, this was in Canada. Just like you have got paper plates and glass here, you eat it and throw it away. Similarly, India, now it is being introduced, these paper dishes, gradually, but from very old time, refreshment or food stuff supplied in clay dishes. And after eating, it is thrown away. So there is a potter class who flourish. They sell their products just like in your country also. So many things are thrown away so that the manufacturer get chance to sell again. So everyone has got a particular type of profession. The potter, the washerman, the florist, the grain dealer. These are the Vaishya class, the grain dealer. The silver or gold dealer. The banker and everything. And the priest and the warrior. So what Prabhupada is trying to explain is everyone needs occupation. Everyone is doing this for some kind of, fulfilling his family needs or, to fill his belly. We all need occupation, isn't it? So the system of Varnashrama was very perfect. There were different class of people in the society and everybody was named, labeled. And that is what was called basically caste. That like in the introduction we read, Varnashram and caste system are different, but a little bit they overlap. So Prabhupada continues saying, so even in India still there is no difficulty or draft board. There is a class, Kshatriya. They will be very glad to be recruited as soldier. I don't know, some of you might not know what Prabhupada is talking about. Whenever there is a war, these countries like America, Europe, they have what is called as draft board. Draft board means they start recruiting everyone as soldier. Even some countries have a rule that every young adult must serve in the military at least for a couple of years. What Prabhupada is trying to say is that this system is bogus because you should have those qualities. In Varnashram system, in Vedic system, there was a class of people. They were called as Kshatriyas. And They will be very glad to be recruited as soldiers. We know some of the stories in during World War, when this draft board comes to recruit everyone, people used to come up with so many excuses not to get into the military because they don't have those qualities. Who should fight? Someone who has the quality to fight. And those class of people, they were called as Kshatriyas. And they will be very happy, very glad to be recruited as well. They are very strong. They are often known in different states, they have different names. Prabhupada gives some of them as Jat. They are called Jat, Gurkha. They are from the North Indian regions. In Maharashtra, they are called Maratha. You might know this. Sikh. They don't like any other occupation. Because that's how Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Guna Karma Vibhagasha, that's their guna. Fighting, they like, Prabhupada says. The Sikhs, they are Jat class. And the Gurkha, the whole British Empire was extended with the help of the Sikhs and the Gurkhas. Even Britishers knew this. They used to recruit Sikhs and Gurkhas in their military. The Britishers took these Gurkhas and the Sikhs to Burma, to Mesopotamia. They liquidated the empire because they lost India. The British soldiers were not helping to keep up their empire. These Indian soldiers, in the first war, they gained for these Indian soldiers. They fought in France and everywhere very nicely. They are fighter class. They like to fight. And fighting is not going every day. So the arrangement was just like you have to fight for the state. So there is no monthly salary system. You are awarded by the government a certain tract of land free. You produce grains, utilize the land, no tax for you because you are soldiers. But when there will be war, you shall fight. And they are very happy to fight. Very nice arrangement, Prabhupada says. Similarly, in temple, the florist has to supply flowers daily. Mr. Kanwar, am I right? There is Mr. Kanwar sitting there in conversation. Prabhupada points to him and says, Mr. Kanwar, am I right? You know this Indian system. Mr. Kanwar says, yes. And the Prabhupada continues, so the florist is given a certain tract of land free. And let him produce flowers and make business. But the quantity of flower I require for my temple, he must supply daily. Similarly, the bandsman, he should come and play band. Everything was based on land distribution. Prabhupada says, very important point. Everything was based on land distribution. That was the system. And tax was paid to the government, not by assessment. Whatever your land production is there, you give to the government 1/4. That's all. If you have produced 1,000 mound grains, you have to give to the government 250 mounds. And if you have produced 100, then you give 25. So there is no question of harassment like we have today. And obviously you can imagine, if there is no question of harassment, there is no question of, what is it called? Tax thieves, trying to evade, trying to avoid tax. As you can see, this whole system was based on mutual cooperation amongst the several different classes of the society. Nobody used to hate anyone. Nobody used to, feel superior to anyone. Everybody had an equal respect. That's what Prabhupada is trying to say in this conversation. So he continues. So there is no question of harassment. Whatever is the production is there. So this profession is accepted from Vedic times. Different kinds of men engaged in different kinds of activities. Maybe a florist, maybe a potter, maybe a cobbler, maybe anything, grain producer, so many. Society requires so many things. So according to Vedic system, there is a class. And Bhagavad says that you are engaged in your occupational duty, so whether you are getting success by such occupational duty. In the very beginning, actually, Sutta Goswami says this. You are engaged in your occupational duty, you should think, you should utilize your brain to think that, are you happy? Are you being successful? Are just doing some work? Yeah? He calls it Shrama Evai Kevalam. If you don't do it for Krishna, it is Shrama Evai Kevalam. So Varnashram system explains how to do it for Krishna. The Prabhupada says, so according to Vedic system, there is a class. And Bhagavad says that you are engaged in your occupational duty, so whether you are getting success by such occupational duty, it's a question mark. The Vedic system does not condemn anyone. You are a potter, oh, you are lower. No. You are as good as a priest because you are doing your duty. That's all right. Never condemns. Prabhupada says, never condemns. And that is Varnashram. Yes, Prabhupada also in some places says that Brahmanas should be respected more, Kshatriyas should be respected more, they are natural leaders, etc. But that respect is out of, gratitude. It's not like they are greater and we are lower kind of system was not there. Varnashram is not that. Because everyone is doing their duty for the society. So this is development of later age when the so-called Brahmanas became, treacherous. Prabhupada uses the word treacherous. They began to condemn so-called lower class. There was disruption. The whole social system, Prabhupada said, the whole social system was disrupted because of this kind of mentality that we are greater than you, kind of Varnashram. That is not real Varnashram. In real Varnashram system, everybody is equally respected. But in the beginning, it was not. This kind of mentality was not there in the original Vedic system. So Prabhupada continues. So they have got respectable terms, just like a Brahmana is addressed as Pandit Maharaj, a Kshatriya is addressed Thakur Sahib, Thakur, and a merchant is addressed Shetji. We all know that. And the laborer class addressed as Chaudhary, means leader. And they were all equally respected actually. Later became, Shetji, like, you are Shetji. Yeah, Shetji doesn't mean he's someone great. These were titles given by these respected classes. So in this way, everyone has got respectable swakarmana. In this way, everyone has got respectable position. Why? Because the test of their success was one, Vishnu. Success. So we are reading Prabhupada's conversations. There will be broken sentences. Prabhupada just switches. Instead of completing the sentence, he switches to different sentence. They said success, and then he starts saying, Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. This verse is from the last chapter of Sri Bhagavad Gita. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading. A man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Lord Sri Krishna is very serious and very to the point in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He explains briefly about all the varnas, and then he says very clearly that you should perform duties of your varna, your guna. Even if you are doing it unsuccessfully, and even if you can do someone else's work, someone other varna's work successfully, you should stick to your work. Otherwise, you end up committing sinful activities. It's very easy to understand, but in modern education, we have made it very difficult. I have some guna given by Lord to me. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, these varnas are divided by gunas. So you have some guna. If you utilize that guna, you can work perfectly. And that is what you have to utilize in Krishna's service, Vishnu's service. And it becomes completely perfect. It helps you for your, living. At the same time, it becomes perfect. But why people look around for somebody else's work? Even though they don't have those gunas, those qualities, why do they do that? It's a common sense. Well, what do they look for? Either money or profit or fame. And then we end up doing sinful activities. So that's why Lord Krishna says, stick to your occupation. And that is Varnashram system. Stick to your occupation. And that's why Srila Prabhupada wants to bring Varnashram back. Because if we don't stick to our occupation, according to our guna, we end up doing somebody else's work, and that is sinful. Very good example would be, I don't have Brahmanical qualities, Brahmana qualities, but I want to sit on Vyasasana and give lecture. You might have seen this kind of example. For example, I don't have administrative management qualities. I don't know how to manage things, but I want to be the leader. Why people think like that? In our general situation, you might come across something like this in your home, in your office. Why people think like that? Because they're looking for something, profit. I know I don't have those qualities, but I still want to do that because there is profit there. And that's what Lord Krishna condemns in Bhagavad Gita, last chapter, that you should do your work. His own work. Prabhupada continues, whatever your occupation may be, that doesn't matter. But if you worship the Supreme Lord by your occupation, then you are successful. The florist supplies flower to the temple. The potter supplies pots to the temple. The priest chants mantra in the temple. The kshatriyas, they protect the temple. He supplies the expenditure for the temple. Kshatriyas are supposed to manage also. So this is the most important verse, I think, in the third chapter, right? In Bhagavatam, where it says, Swanustistasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshinam. Varnashram is designed by Lord Krishna for his service. At the same time, for our own living also. So if we misuse Varnashram, we end up being sinful. At the same time, we go away from Krishna. And if we don't accept Varnashram also, we go away from Krishna. And we become sinful. Both things are there. Atapumbir dvijasreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha. Swanustistasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshinam. It is designed for haritoshinam, for Hari's satisfaction. So, this was Prabhupada's real mission, that you stop sinful activities, all the industrial setup, anything related to industrial setup, come back to the original agrarian system where Varnashram can be re-established. And then, this is the first step, and then the same work, the same occupation, you start utilizing it for Prabhupada's service, for Krishna's service. And then it becomes perfect Varnashram, what Prabhupada called Daivi Varnashram. Right? Prabhupada continues, because the land belongs to the Kshatriya, the royal class, sometimes they are called as royal class. Prabhupada does say that we have to develop a classless society. That's what was Mahatma Gandhi's one of the goals also. Four goals Prabhupada writes in his Gita Nagari essay. They are very in parallel with Mahatma Gandhi's 4 goals. One of them is classless society. but what Mahatma Gandhi tried to do was he tried to make everyone equal by giving Harijan titles and to Dalits and all. But what Prabhupada is advocating us to do is, by what real classless society will be is when we establish Daiva Varnashrama, where everybody is doing their work what they are inherently qualified to do. And then there will be no ahankar, there will be no greed, there will be a lot of love amongst the devotees, amongst the society. So yeah, the class word, class or caste word is used many times by Prabhupada, but he didn't mean by the way we use it in a derogatory way today, lower caste, higher class, like that. So he starts this paragraph by saying, land belongs to Kshatriyas. Even today, by the way, land belongs to the government. And the government distributes it. Kshatriyas used to distribute it. You are providing flowers to temple, you keep this land. You are fighting for the state, you keep this land. Brahmanas, you need some land for your, upajivika chalane ke liye. So, but the land belongs to Kshatriya. Belongs doesn't mean he's the owner. Kshatriya is pakka Kshatriya. Real king knows that I am the representative of God. I am the servant of the God. Land belongs to God, not me. But he is the manager. He knows whom to give, how much to give. So he manages in that way. Because the land belongs to the Kshatriya, the royal class, because they occupy land, so they have got the obligation to give protection to the country. Fight. They shall fight, Prabhupada says. And here, at the present moment, the arrangement is that you have no land, you are landless, but you are called to fight. And then Prabhupada says, why? Prabhupada says, question mark, why? You don't have land, you are just recruited on some kind of salary system, and maybe some perks. Soldiers, they get some perks, free soaps and things like that in their canteen. And then whenever there is war, you're called to fight. And Prabhupada says, why? This system is condemned system. It's not good system. The Kshatriyas, they are royal class. They possessed land. So they had obligation to protect the country. Therefore, they were fighting. How nice arrangement. Now, we don't want to deviate too much and call out bad things that are going on today. We all know Varnashram system became completely bogus today. In today's society, we do follow some kind of Varnashram, but that's Asuri Varnashram. It's not real Varnashram or Devi Varnashram. I just remembered this because yesterday I was watching that one documentary where the documentary was about the young entrepreneurs of India, young people of India, something like that. And there was mention of the prince of Jodhpur or Jaipur from Rajasthan. He owns a lot of land. We can relate to this, what we were reading today. Because they were Kshatriyas. But today he's not Kshatriya. Because you know what he did? In his big palace, he converted it into a hotel. And then he throws party for foreigners there and just trying to make his money. And he says, yeah, no, I cannot be king, go on into the society and collect taxes. So how am I going to live? I have to do some business. Same story here in Kolhapur. There was a palace. They converted into hotel again. So this is bogus, Kshatriyas, they had they had this, their first quality is protection, giving protection to the praja, to the citizens, not only humans, to everyone. Yesterday we were reading in Bhagavatam. And why they used to do that? Because that was their quality. And because of that, they knew how to control also, how to manage also. So land was given to them. Land was given to them so that they can distribute properly. They can, utilize it properly for the protection and welfare of the society. Those who are occupying, Prabhupada says in the next paragraph, those who are occupying administration of the country, they should fight. If you read Bhagavatam, Prabhupada mentions not only king is the Kshatriya, all the ministers should be Kshatriya, all the what is called government officers, Prashaskiya Adhikaris, they are also should have a Kshatriya spirit, because their job is protection, administration and welfare of people. So they should have this Kshatriya spirit. So Prabhupada says, those who are occupying administration of the country, they should fight. But they are sitting very nicely in their armchair and calling somebody, go and fight and be killed. That was not the system. This system is not scientific system. Prabhupada uses the word scientific. This system is not scientific system. Wow. What Prabhupada is trying to say is, Varnashram system is scientific system. You might call it as bogus system, or people literally hate Varnashram word today, isn't it? This system is scientific system. If you see the wars these Kshatriyas used to fight, you will see Prabhupada often says this: the king would be in the front and soldiers behind him. King fighting himself, not like today's kings. They are sitting somewhere in the bunker and sending some recruited people on salary. These soldiers are not even soldiers. If you see today in India, many people join military or they try to become Kshatriyas because they are not getting any job anywhere else. Just want to become soldier because there is money to be made. It's very bad. Prabhupada said, therefore the caste system is very nice. They have now been condemned. Prabhupada said, not condemned, but they want to revise it. But this is very scientific system. Why? Prabhupada says, why? It is created by Krishna. It is created by Krishna. There are so many devotees today, they don't like Varnashram. They try to equate Varnashram with again caste system. Before reading Prabhupada's books, before reading Prabhupada's conversations, listening to his conversations, morning walk conversations, he was very strongly on Varnashram actually. He used to speak very strongly on Varnashram. And if you don't believe in Srila Prabhupada, this is true. Why we should believe in Varnashram system? Why we should try to bring Varnashram system back as Prabhupada desired? Because it is created by Krishna. And we are Krishna devotees, isn't it? How can you say something created by Krishna is wrong? Krishna says in Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha, chapter 4, verse 13. I have created the 4 divisions of caste. Krishna says. It is not exactly caste, sections. Section, divisions, varna. So how can you stop? It is natural. So Bhagavat recommends, Prabhupada says, Suta Goswami is addressing Ata Pumbir Dvijasreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha. It's Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 13th verse. O best among the twice born, he's addressing Shaunak Adi Rishis. It is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to the caste divisions and orders of life to please the personality of Godhead. Svanustishtasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. This system of sectional division, that is, he is a Brahmana, he is Kshatriya, he is Vaishya, he is Shudra, he is Brahmachari, he is householder, he is Vanaprastha, he is Sannyasi, or subsection, he is potter, he is washerman, he is this, he is that. You may divide it or not, this section will be there in every society. Prabhupada says, you might not want to like this. The entire modern civilization, the entire modern education focuses on equality. Equality, equality, equality. But we have to accept the floor worker cannot be the supervisor. He cannot be. Just because he worked as a floor worker on your machine in your factory for 15 years, you cannot make him vice president of the company. That's not possible. So this division is already there. It's there everywhere in the entire world. They might not call it Varnashram, but it's there. It should be there. You need shoes. Who is going to make shoes? Later in Kali Yuga, we started saying these are lower caste, these are higher caste. But before they were not lower caste, higher caste. He was to be seen as just a cobbler. He makes my shoes. I like him. He makes my shoes. I grow grains, so I give him grains. He gives me shoes. Simple system based on love and respect. No monetary transactions. Nobody counted how much grains I give him, and he also never counted how many shoes I gave. That was the system. And this system is still, even today, we need this system, and it is there in every society. Whether you like it or not. Whether you call it Varnashram or not. Without that, how can it work? The intelligent class of men will be there, and they will be natural leaders. The administrative class men will be there, and they will be natural leaders. The others will try to grab their position because that is more respectable, that is more profitable. There's a lot of fame to be gained in that. But they will fail. Many people try to become gurus because there is a lot of fame in that. You get garland, you get your feet washed. Who doesn't like that? Right? But you need those qualities. And whoever has those qualities, he will naturally become a guru. There is no point in arguing in that. And if you see anywhere, even if you go to Western civilization in US, nobody can become Jeff Bezos. Why he is the CEO of Amazon? Because he is intelligent. Somebody working in Amazon go down in a warehouse, labeling those packages, he cannot become the CEO. This system is already there. All we need to bring into this is honesty, sincerity, and respect for everyone, each of these divisions, which is lacking. And that this respect gone because we kind of revised the caste system. Srila Prabhupada says here, we made this caste is lower, that caste is higher kind of system we brought in. So Prabhupada says here, it will be there. So Bhagavad says that you may be situated in any section, it doesn't matter. Either you are a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or a potter or a washerman, whatever you may be, it doesn't matter. Everyone should be satisfied by his occupation. Very important. Everyone should be satisfied by his occupation. Don't look at somebody else's occupation. Oh, there's a lot of money in there. There's a lot of fame in there. Why? You have given some qualities by God. Just use it. Be happy. That is Varnashram system. But how one gets successful by his occupation? One should think about it. Am I being successful? And this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam says, you will be successful when you use your occupational duties for the satisfaction of the Lord. He hasn't got to change the occupation. In the material world, one has to change his occupation for certain kind of success. Isn't it? I study mechanical engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer or civil engineer or BCom, or I study this, spend my entire childhood studying this, and I see that success, so-called success, material success, money to be made in IT field. So I change, I switch, right? And so after some time, I switch back to some kind of business. The businessmen are more successful. That is material conception. Spiritual conception is when you do your own occupational duties for the satisfaction of Lord. When Lord is satisfied, you are satisfied, and that is your success. Suppose you are a potter, Prabhupada says. Now if you want to become an engineer, so you have to change your occupation as potter. But in the spiritual world, you haven't got to change your position. And still you get success. Spiritual life. That is the beauty, Prabhupada says. That is the beauty. You haven't got to change. If somebody says that, sir, I am a potter, how can I be Krishna conscious? It requires that one should be a Brahmana. One should be very learned man. Vedanta philosophy. And one must have a sacred thread. And this and that. So I am a potter. I am a cobbler. I am a washerman. No. Krishna says, no. You do not require to change. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, you do not require to change. Krishna says that swakarmanatam abhyarcha. You just try to worship the Supreme Lord by the result of your occupation. Do it for Krishna. Why do you need to change? Why people change? Because they see material success is there. That's why in every village now there is no potter, there is no cobbler, there is no carpenter. Everybody wants to go and study and become engineer, doctors, engineers, bankers. Some of them do become, and most of them end up in working some factories from 8 to 4, 4 to 8. And we don't realize that materially also we are losing. Spiritually, definitely we are losing. Isn't it? So, Krishna says, no, you don't have to change your occupation. Just do it for me. Arjun wanted to change his occupation. Krishna says, no, you have to fight. You have to fight for me. Because Krishna requires everything. Krishna requires everything. You're making pots, make it for Krishna. You're growing food, grow it for Krishna. Krishna requires everything. So if you are a potter, you supply pots. If you are a florist, you supply flowers. If you are a carpenter, you work for temple. If you are a washerman, then you wash clothing of the temple. Temple is the center, Krishna. And everyone gets chance to offer his service. Therefore, temple worship is very nice. So this temple should be organized in such a way that we don't require any money. We should have bugles and trumpets for this sentence, kind of. This is Prabhupada's sentence. So this temple should be organized in such a way that we don't require any money. We have been constantly told that temple requires money. Yes, Prabhupada said yes. Initially, yes, we do require money But eventually the goal of the temple, goal of your congregation, goal of your farm community, goal of your ashram, whatever you call it, should have only one goal: become self-sufficient. And that gives occupation for everyone to work for Krishna. What is farm community? You're not doing it for yourself. It is a preaching center for Srila Prabhupada. Isn't it? Your congregation, it's a preaching center for Srila Prabhupada, for Krishna. Your temple, your ashram, whatever you call it. So everyone involved in that project, in that congregation, in the farm community, if they all start working very hard to produce daily necessities, and then they serve Krishna, then they serve the community, then they preach outside. You don't need to go out, sit on the counter of Shetji and say, give some donation, Lalaji Shetji. This is not the system. Prabhupada wants this system, where the temple never requires any money. Prabhupada says in another conversation that our goal is eventually we should not ask for any donation. It's a huge task, isn't it? But it is not something we cannot accomplish. It's very easy to accomplish. All we have to do is work very hard. Use our Krishna-given, God-given qualities for Krishna. You know how to make pots, you make pots. And that's why living together is very important. There was no such thing as you live in your house. I will initiate you. You live in your own house. Prabhupada says, we read just 2 days ago, isn't it? Prabhupada says, you need to live in the temple. You need to live in the center. You need to live in the farm community with devotees. My system is not system like I initiate you, so and so das, and you go live in your house and work for some karmi industry or karmi job. That's not Srila Prabhupada's system. This system started after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. There was no such system before Prabhupada's disappearance. Many people don't know this. As we are reading, now we can link all the dots, connect all the dots. We can understand why Prabhupada established such system. So when you live together, I'm a potter, I make pot for other devotees. And he's a cobbler, he makes shoes for me. And few devotees grow grains, food for me. And in this way, the community always in Krishna consciousness. They don't have any other occupation. They don't have to worry about stock market. They don't have to worry about their boss coming and asking to deliver, release on this date. You don't have to work for any other company. And Prabhupada doesn't say here, but we will discuss this. One paragraph left. We will finish that and then we'll discuss. Prabhupada says, we don't require any money. You give your service. That's all. Prabhupada's words. That's all. You be engaged in your service. Don't change your service. But you try to serve the temple, means the Supreme Lord, by your occupational duty. Now, in their conversation sitting, Shivananda Prabhu says, in the correct position then, the temple would be the center of the community. Shivananda Prabhu says. And the Prabhupada says, yes. Yes. Temple is open for everyone. Let them come and sit down, chant Hare Krishna, hear Bhagavad Gita. We don't say, oh, you are a potter. No, you are not allowed. We won't say that. Are you cobbler? Oh, you are not allowed. No, we don't say that. Everyone is welcome. Come on. And what is the business? Chant Hare Krishna. Everyone can do it. And what is the next business? We read some nice philosophical portion from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. Now, don't misunderstand. Here ends the first chapter of speaking about Varnashram. A little bit how this connects to farm communities. How this connects to, I'm a potter, I'm a cobbler, I'm a washerman. How can I work for temple? See, temple doesn't mean just a building temple. as a temple. Temple means the whole community that is connected with the temple. You make pots for other devotees. Vaishnav Seva is serving Krishna and serving Vaishnavas is the same. You have to provide clothes for other Vaishnavas. The other Vaishnavas have to provide food for you. And when this community, and that's where we connect all these things. Not we, Srila Prabhupada actually connects all these things to farm communities. This cannot be done without farms. This cannot be done without cows. Because everybody has to eat. Isn't it? You can stop all the work because it is sinful, but at the end of the day, you have to eat. You have to cover your body with some clothes. These are our basic necessities. The other day we were reading very nice purport from Srimad Bhagavatam. We need food for our sustenance. We need clothing to cover our bodies and shelter for sleeping. That's it. But we are so busy producing artificial necessities. It's all sinful. Some people say, I'm doing it for Krishna. Because from my salary, I'm giving such and such money for Krishna's service. But Krishna doesn't want you to be involved in sinful activities and then give that money to him. Where it is said, where does Krishna say, you give your money to me? Krishna says, you serve me. Isn't it? And that's where most devotees are not able to connect that why we need to switch to farm communities. Because if you don't, then you will be doing sinful activities. Prabhupada labels those sinful activities that we are doing today as Ugra Karma everywhere in Bhagavatam. Some devotees say, we never heard this word Ugra Karma. That means you never read Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very clearly written, Ugra Karma, Ugra Karma, Ugra Karma. And very specifically Prabhupada says, industrial job, industrial work is all Ugra Karma. Whether you are directly doing or indirectly doing. Yes, you need to work. Without work, nobody can survive. But then we need to use our intelligence and take help of other Vaishnavas in a Varnashram system to work for bare necessities. And even that work, if it becomes service to Krishna, service to other Vaishnavas, more merrier, isn't it? Yeah? Awesome. What else perfect arrangement there can be? That you can work for your sustenance and the same work, Krishna likes it. Other Vaishnavas like it. And that's why we need these Varnashram communities, farm communities. So, the first chapter of this book, speaking about Varnashram, you should get a copy of this book. Very, very important. The author, I should not say author, compiler, because everything ever Srila Prabhupada wrote and spoke is just compiled in this book. It's compiled by Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Her name is Hare Krishna Devi Dasi. She had material to print 7 or 8 such volumes actually. But unfortunately, they never came out. This came out, it stopped. Somehow the devotees got intelligence to get this and reprint again. It's our fortune. We should get this book and read every day. So first chapter of this book that we read today was about no class is lower or higher. Everybody is equally respectable. Everybody has equal seva in Krishna's service, in Vaishnava's service. And if they all come together and do it cooperatively, that's called perfect society. Prabhupada uses this word society. Why? Because we have to live together. If we don't live together, that doesn't become society. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question or discussions? We have few minutes. Sorry, I think I started a little late. Any discussions, Prabhu? Any concerns that what we read today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. No concerns or anything like that. So more of it would be question that how to start it. Yes. What would be required to start it?
Not question or concern, but more about how do we start, where to start, how do we start. Hopefully, as we keep reading this book, we'll get more information about that, how to start, where to start, etc. Devotees who have already read, well versed with this portion of Srila Prabhupada's mission, they should be able to take the lead, help others. Prabhupada did start such, maybe we may call it as a pilot projects, where he wanted to show. Prabhupada was very enthusiastic. During Prabhupada's times, they started many farm projects actually. And at one point of time, Prabhupada he was very restless in one conversation where he says, take me to this farm, I will show personally how to, build everything, how to till the land. So, what I'm trying to say is, we need such leaders who can take up the roles of who are ready to take plow in their own hand and show that this is more important, this is most important. If you don't have food, pure food, you cannot even do book distribution. Forget about it. Ahar shuddha, sattva shuddha. Ahar shuddha, sattva shuddhi, sattva shuddha, dhruva smriti. So how to do it? We have to, Prabhupada started these models. We have to follow those models, try to acquire some land. That's where we have to start, unfortunately. Nobody is going to give us land for free. No, Kshatriyas are gone. We have to become Kshatriyas. We have to become Brahmanas. Why Prabhupada wanted focused more on Brahmanas? He tried to preach to 100 people, hoping that one will become Brahmana. Because the Brahmana knows exactly what to do. He's the intelligent person. Brahmana doesn't know where money is. And that kind of intelligence is bogus. What do we mean by intelligence? He knows how to find Kshatriyas, how to give him Kshatriya duties. He knows how to find Vaishyas, how to give them Vaishya duties. He knows how to guide them respectfully, the way we read today, respectfully. Not like today's Brahmanas, oh, we are greater than you. No, Brahmanas have lot of responsibility, huge responsibility. So that's why Prabhupada wanted to start there. If we have one clear Brahmana with us, then he might show us way forward. So we have to start. Prabhupada showed the way, get land, start planning. Don't do anything haphazardly, do it everything. He uses the word systematic, scientific many times. Do it systematically, do it scientifically. Plan. Prabhupada was a great planner. He used to keep record of every paisa. And he can do it. Now the biggest part in this is making devotees understand that this is the real way to go forward. That is the big challenge. Getting land, pouring money into land, growing food is also not difficult. Lord is so helpful. You sow one seed, even if you don't do anything, plant come out. bears fruit. We all have experience of that. What is difficult today is convincing devotees that this is the way to go forward. And it is becoming increasingly difficult because we don't read Srila Prabhupada's real books. We want to jump high saying Jai Prabhupada, but we don't want to follow Srila Prabhupada's orders. That's the problem. So we need more preaching on this line. Read more about Varnashram. Read Bhagavatam very seriously. I guarantee you, actually, if you read first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be convinced we need farm communities. For just first canto. But you need to read very seriously. As if like Prabhupada is talking to us. Prabhupada says, well, why do we need these nuts and bolts? Industrial setups. So we need to take those sentences to our heart. Then something will change. Then more devotees get involved in this, it becomes a cooperative effort. Otherwise, it's very difficult. One person doing farming here and there, or just 2-3 devotees trying to get together and do some farming here and there. Yeah, that is good. We should start there. But more devotees should be involved. And in all these devotees working together to accomplish this, there should be highest level of purity. Varnashram dharma means purity. Like I was explaining a few minutes ago, if you have a desire to do somebody else's work because there is profit there, then everything spoils. That purity should be there, that, I am doing this for Prabhupada, I am doing this for, Krishna, I am doing this for me also to be happy, because without that purity, you also won't be happy. That we realize later, but, So we have to parallelly, simultaneously do this. Preach very hard, preach very strong, try to get more devotees involved in this. And whoever is involved, they should work very hard to acquire land, to start communities, to, starting communities means what? Whatever is written in these books, we are showing, as a working model. I think in this book, speaking about Varnashram, there is a chapter, I think 5th chapter, 7th chapter, Prabhupada says, working is also preaching. It's a very nice chapter, 7th chapter. We give so much emphasis for book distribution, but just think about 1 second. Who is going to live like the way it is described inside the books? We have to show that also. Isn't it? If somebody you distribute these books and somebody reads them very seriously and comes back to you saying, can you show me in your devotees who is living like this? And we don't have anything to show. So we have to preach this amongst our devotees also very strongly. And get together. Make us understand why we are doing this. Get together, get land, organize, plan, do something, start doing. It may take time. It may take a couple of years, probably a couple of generations. Establishing Varnashram is not that easy because we have come so far away from Vedic norms. It will be very difficult. But one thing I know from my personal experience, growing food is not difficult. It's very easy. And if you have something to eat, you can work on rest of the aspects of community development and Varnashram development. Now, what do you need? Food, right? Food is there, and that is also very pure food. Then you can work on other aspects. But this kind of conviction comes when you read Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam very seriously and understand that you don't have to hanker every day for Mercedes and iPhones. Then you won't be able to survive in this kind of situation. You have to understand that my most important necessary thing for me is food, and then clothing, and a little bit of shelter, and the rest of the work, rest of the money, rest of the energy should be utilized for Krishna's service. So, this is what group of us devotees, we are trying to do this. Many other devotees are also trying to do this. You should get connected with them. You should get connected with us. And let's work together. It's time to work. That's why we are trying to do this parallelly. Work at the same time, preach also this same philosophy. Because we don't have much time. We have very less time left. We need to get our pen and paper together and sit down and plan all these things. Take a systematic approach. What to do next, where, what, things like that. And most of us are software engineers. We got good brains. We can do this, isn't it? We know how to manage project. We should be able to manage farm projects also. Where to start? If we are clear on all these things, let's start by acquiring some land. That's where we have to start. At the same time, we should have a team of devotees, distribute work. So we have to do this. Hare Krishna. Ramesh Prabhu asking a question. Ramesh Damodar Prabhu is asking a question that the 4 ashramas seems related to evolution of consciousness, sannyas ashram being the top, which need more respect as we have to take guidance from them. But 4 varnas are not. Is that correct? 4 varnas does not show evolution in consciousness. Is that correct? Yes, the ashramas are, it's not evolution of consciousness. Ashramas are what Prabhupada calls orders of life. The first beginning 25 years one should be in brahmacharya, the next 25 years in grihastha ashram, next 25 years in vanaprastha ashram, and next 25 years in sannyas ashram. In one way, yes, we can see they are that's graded with consciousness also. It's more than consciousness is the ability to it can be called consciousness also. It's the ability to have a anasakti, vairagya in you. The brahmachari ashram is where you are given training on vairagya, on detachment. And whoever is able to completely accomplish it, he directly goes to sannyas ashram. And the rest goes through 2 phases, that is grihastha and vanaprastha ashram. They are not able to completely give up attachment, so they get into grihastha ashram. And all these ashramas are also equally respected, by the way. There is a misconception in our society that grihasthas are lower than brahmacharis. Even though many brahmacharis are, browsing on their Instagram all the time. Just yesterday in 3rd canto of Bhagavatam we were reading. In fact, grihastha ashram is more respected in Kali Yuga than any other ashram. Even Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whoever is doing work for me, he is sannyasi. Not someone who is just taken sannyas as a stamp, or just wearing some saffron clothes just to show he's a sannyasi. No, whoever is working for me, he is sannyasi. So Arjun is a sannyasi. Arjun was a grihastha. Arjun had wife. Arjun had kids. Arjun was not even a brahmana. But Arjun was the greatest devotee of the Lord, because he does his work for Krishna. They are all equally respectable. Yes, sannyasis are, we have to respect sannyasis, and for that matter, in the varnas also this gradation is there. Brahmanas are very intelligent because they understand Krishna consciousness and they preach Krishna consciousness. So we have to respect them. This respect is what we call in English is called gratitude. We are indebted to these people. But what respect we are reading today is whoever works for Krishna, even maybe he's a cobbler, potter, doesn't matter. He's a grihastha, he's a brahmachari, he's a vanaprastha, doesn't matter. They're all equally respectable. In the, I think, 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun asks this very specific question, and Krishna replies saying that whoever is working for me, he is a sannyasi. And if whoever is not working for me, no matter how great he may be a sannyasi or a tapasvi or a yogi, he is no good. So the qualification is one who is working for Krishna is equally respectable, no matter which ashram he is in, no matter which varna he is in. Varnas also show evolution. Yeah. The Brahmanas are primarily in Sattva-gun, the Kshatriyas are primarily in Rajogun, Vaishyas are in the mixed mode of Raja and Tama, and Shudras are primarily in Tamogun. So they have level of consciousness in them is different. But we have to understand that in this material world, we are all equally stuck. We have to help each other. Brahmana is considered higher because he has understood Brahma. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. And his primary duty is to give this knowledge of Brahma to everyone for free. And he never charges. Out of compassion, he gives this knowledge. But he needs to live. He needs food. And who provides food? Vaishya provides food. But Vaishya treats Brahmana as on a very high position because he knows Brahma and he's giving me knowledge. That doesn't mean Brahmana thinks, oh, Vaishyas are useless. No, Vaishyas are also equally important. Oftentimes these varnas are compared with the bodily parts, head being Brahmana, arms being Kshatriya, belly being Vaishya, and legs, feet being Shudra. And nowadays, these stupid Brahmanas, they think Shudras are feet. They are at our feet. No, you need your feet to walk. How will you walk? Brain will not work if we cut your feet. They are all equal. But we should show higher gratitude to Brahmanas because they are giving us the real knowledge to get out of this material world. Brahmana is the one who is teaching how to get out of this material world. Brahmana is not the one who knows how to start a new factory, who is very intelligent, is on a very high position in some company. That kind of intelligence is a Shudra intelligence. It is all software engineers and all, they are sophisticated Shudras. So yes, there is a gradation in ashramas also, in varnas also. But that gradation is more about gratitude, showing our gratitude, not equality. Everybody is equally respectful when it comes to serving Krishna. Hare Krishna. Do we have any other discussion, Prabhu? I know we got a little bit late. It's 8:20. but it's Saturday. Okay. We will stop here. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpataro bhayascha kripa sindhupya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnav Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Varnashram Dharma ki jai. Hare Krishna.